On this video today, guys, we're going to go over ankle sprain rehab, anatomy, grades, things to look out for, and how you can rehab it at home. My name is Dr. Joey Seaforth, physical therapist, athletic trainer, strength and conditioning specialist with Comeback Performance and Wellness. Typically tends to happen when we sprain our ankles is we land like this and roll it. Let's talk about what's actually happening. So if we check out this ankle right here, when we roll our foot in, we're stretching out some of these ligaments on the outside. There's 5 things that you want to look out for once you sprain your ankle that might mean that you need to go in for an x-ray. If you're having a lot of pain on one of the side bones right here, that can be a red flag. Pain on this bone, this navicular right here, or on our 5th metatarsal on the side. Also, if you roll your ankle and you are not able to put weight on it, you always want to rule out a fracture. One of the most important things that we need to address, guys, is when you sprain and roll your ankle in like this, the old school method is RICE, rest, ice, compression, elevation. We're going to get rid of that right now. We need to get the ankle moving as quickly as possible and get it used to low tolerance. So check out these 4 phases of ankle rehab. Phase 1, active range of motion and loading. So once you sprain your ankle, we're in this acute phase. What do? Follow these steps. First off is getting as much motion back as possible. When we sprain an ankle, our muscles and ligaments, everything tends to tense up and guard it. So the first thing that I like to start people with is ankle pumps, going up and down, circles, just like that, each direction. And then you could also do ABCs where you're spelling out A, B, all the way from A to Z. As you start to get some more motion back in your ankle, you can be doing these exercises every 15 minutes, every 30 minutes, at least every hour. If you're sitting down, you're not able to load your ankle, you want to keep moving in all those different directions just like that. As we start to get more motion and we're starting to feel a little bit better, the next thing is loading the ankle. Depending on the severity of the ankle is how much weight you can put on it. If you're able to walk and it feels okay and pain levels are pretty low, ditch the crutches. If you're starting to walk kind of funny like this, we need to get the foot and ankle used to loading again. So what I like to do is to grab a countertop, wall, just being right here and just trying to put a little bit of weight on here. You can use your hands to offload you, get a little balance through there, and just go through some easy weight shifts, just like that. I typically like to do anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes every few hours until we can restore that motion back and we can get used to walking again. Phase number 2 is going to be strengthening and balance. We're going to be doing some band work, standing on one foot, and kind of going through some more body weight exercises. First exercise up is 4-way ankle. So you're going to grab a band, toss it around your forefoot just like that, give it a little tug, and we're going to press down and up just like that, just like a gas pedal. So we'll do 15 reps in each direction. Then you're going to bring your other leg like this. So both legs are going to be forward. Hold the band in one hand, and then you're going to push the injured side out, just like that. So now we're moving into that E version, just like that. Should feel some muscles on the outside working. That's going to be 15 reps again. Then I'm going to cross this leg over the other side. Once again, still holding with one hand. And now I'm bringing my right foot into inversion, just like that. Big thing to note, guys, is you don't want to force into pain. If the motion feels like it's pretty limited, just keep working through it, but keep those pain levels down. So 15 reps there. Then the last is going to be dorsiflexion, actually bringing our toes up towards our nose. You can grab a kettlebell or a weight or have someone else hold the band. So it's going to be just like this. I'm going to place my foot right there. And then I'm trying to drive my toes up towards my nose. So I'm going to be just like this, pulling up, back down, up, back down. If you're doing this and it's too much, totally fine. Do all these motions without the band. Keep working and you're going to get some strengthening in still, even if it's going against zero resistance. Next, we're going to get into some balance exercises. So, same thing. You're going to use a band right here. And you're going to attach it to the kettlebell, and you're going to place the band underneath your big toe. What this teaches us to do is to engage with our foot and to create that tripod, okay? As I'm here, I'm just going to get used to standing on one foot, just like that. It might be a little shaky and you're falling down, totally okay. Just get used to standing on one leg again. If you start to lose balance and you go on the side of your foot, the band is going to slide out, okay? So it's giving us that tactile cue of holding our balance. Just like that. So you can start out right here. You can have it go touches in each direction. Just nice and easy. You're going to start wherever you need to. The goal is to give about 2 to 3 minutes a day of balance and continue to keep adding on to that with the goal of 6 to 8 minutes. Another balance exercise is around the world. So we're going to take that band underneath our big toe. We're going to stand on one leg. We're going to bring the kettlebell around and pass it to the other side. You can shoot for like a certain amount of reps, like 5 to 10, and then go in the opposite way. Goal is to keep your foot in that stable position and not let it fall all over the place. Also, we're going to be doing body weight exercises. As we're going through this, our ankles should be starting to loosen up, feel a little bit better. Other body weight exercises that we can be doing, some lunges, just making sure that we're staying in good positions, just like this. We could be doing some squats. At first, you might feel pretty stiff and only able to go a little bit, but keep working that range of motion until you can get lower. Squats are always good. And then lastly is calf raises. You're going to find a spot just like this, hold on to it, and you're going to lift up onto your toes, back down. Onto your toes, back down. So we're starting to move the ankle in every single direction, and we're starting to get strength through it. The third phase is advanced strengthening and absorption phase. We are going a little bit more in the strengthening side, so we like to start with a step down. So what it's going to look like from the side is me standing on one leg. I'm reaching my hips back, and I'm trying to touch my heel down to the ground. So just like this, back up. From the back, this is what it's going to look like. Back, down. For that exercise, we like to comfortably be able to do 3 to 4 sets of 10 reps with that. Next up is a single leg RDL. So you can take a band and place it under your toe, totally okay. But by now you should be able to feel when you're losing that support. So I'm going to be just on one foot here, pushing my hips back. The leg that goes back, the hand should come forward. So just right here, coming back up. Should feel that hammy getting a nice little stretch, and we're working on our balance. From the side, be right here, keeping our foot nice and stable, hips back, coming back up. With that one, again, we're shooting for 3 to 4 sets of 10 reps. Also in this phase, guys, we need to work on absorption and getting our ankle used to landing again. I like to work on going on 2, onto the toes, and then landing. So going on the toes and landing. This is a good drill to do in front of a mirror or somebody else, because what tends to happen as we start to get into this is we favor one side, okay? So you want to really work on trust and getting that ankle used to that position again, okay? From the side, going up on the toes, landing, then from the back, up on the toes, landing just like that. Once you start to feel comfortable doing that on 2 feet, now we're going to transition from 2 to 1 foot. We're going to do a 2-to-1 land. So I'm going to be here. I'm going to step into it and stick it. I'm going to hold anywhere from 3 to 5 to 8 seconds, depending on where you're at. But I need to get that ankle used to that load again, just coming right through here. Some common mistakes that we'll do when we're starting to get back to this position is keeping our knee extended and using all hips, or not trusting it and falling this way. There's a lot of different progressions we can do with this one. So start with a nice little step. As you get a little bit more advanced, you can do a little bit more of a hop into it, but make sure the ankle is comfortable and it's not flailing everywhere and causing pain or feelings of weakness. Stage number 4 is the plyo phase. This is where we're going to be jumping, landing, getting used to doing all the fun stuff that we used to before we got injured. So to start is pogo hops. You can do this with a jump rope, or you can do it without. You're just going to go onto the balls of your feet, and you're going to go up and down just like that. We want to make sure that we're not favoring one side, and we're also getting up to the same height on both. From the back, as we get more comfortable with that, then we'll start to progress it. We're going to go forward and back on 2. If that feels good, then we will go side to side on 2. So I'm going to give a brief example of both of these. So forward and back, and then side to side. If that feels okay on both legs, then we're going to progress it to single leg. So go onto your injured side. You're going to start with just a pogo, going up and down, making sure that you actually trust it. If that feels good, then we're going to try those 2 other ones that we just did. So it'll be forward and back. That starts to feel good. Then we will do side to side. So same thing. One thing that could help you guys is like finding a line or something to jump over. So that way, if you're doing one of these and you're all over the place, it gives you like a little sense of direction and keeps you a little bit closer. Let's bring it all together, guys. So we talked about what an ankle sprain is. We talked about different things to look out for in case you might need an x-ray. And then we went through 4 phases. We went through the active range of motion and loading phase, the strength and balance, the advanced strength and absorption phase, and then plyo. Thank you guys for staying and watching the entire video. Please like and subscribe to the channel. It helps get the word out to more people. And please leave any comments that you guys want for future videos. At Comeback Performance, the comeback is always stronger than the setback.